I think the Navy are just about to rip it up. And what do we got next? We have Cats and Corsair. From the left then, ladies and gentlemen, here come the Navy.
In the Pacific originally, operating from places like Cactus Field on Henderson and Guadalcanal. There you have a spread of the best fighters of the day, the beginning and the end of the war. The Hellcat developed from the Wildcat, all of the lessons learned in that particular design, incorporating the R2800 engine. Designed to be very simple to manufacture but able to absorb heavy damage, and that simple design led to the least modified of all World War II fighters. The Americans definitely like their radios, and they're moving very much towards the radio. I think they always had a fancy for Sikorsky 335 before the war, and of course the Thunderbolt that grew out of that. Out of the pictures that we're going to see. 75% of all US Navy victories in the Pacific were scored by Hellcats, and for 305 Hellcat aces. David McCampbell being the highest of all time, 34 of his all of his victories scored in the Hellcat. Into the monoplane fighter. Supplanted the Brewster Buffalo, which was a very incapable aeroplane, as was realised in the Japanese advance through Java. It too was able to absorb incredible battle damage and yet still get the plane and pilot back to base. Cactus Air Force operating out of Guadalcanal. Joe Foss actually scored 26 victories in the Wildcat between October 42 and January 43.
aircraft. Very successful aircraft. 12,571 30 variants and used by 7 military operators. Was one of its claims to fame, the longest production of any US piston engine fighter from June 42 right the way through till 1953, operating off US carriers, land bases with the US Marine Corps. Was made famous by Pappy Boyington again in the Solomon Islands. Big airarm operated over 2,000 Corsairs. Used to carry them on the very small carriers that we had. Immense power to get them off the deck. This particular aircraft is painted in the markings of Royal Naval Fleet Aircraft Corsair KD-345, 1950 squadron, coded 130A, and it embarked aboard the Colossus class carrier HMS Vengeance as part of the fleet. The squadron had worked up for Pacific operations and were briefed for a potential attacks against the heavily defended Japanese garrison on Truk Island, but were still in Australia when the war ended. But before it could be employed on any active missions, this aircraft was withdrawn from service. Of course, used operationally in Korea by both the US Navy and Marines. Flown by the Triple Treat Ace, Guy Bordelon. He was the only US Navy ace. He was a night fighter ace. And he was the only piston aircraft ace to come out of Korea, flying F4U-5s, night fighter radar equipped. Powered by the ubiquitous Pratt & Whitney R2800 engine. Subsequent to Korea, used by the Aeronaval in operations in French Indochina, the first Indochina War. Of course, they were withdrawn after 1954, Dien Bien Phu. I read somewhere that these were the actual aircraft that took part in the Bridge of Turco-Rio action. In the film it was jets. It's all jets, but it was actually Sky Raiders and Corsairs. They got flying off the Essex. It's a number of aircraft operated with different countries. Subsequent to that, Honduras and El Salvador actually had a war allegedly over a soccer match. The famous 100-hour war.
Andrew.
What?
Down to quite a number of other different causes. Corsairs against Corsairs, Corsairs against Mustangs. Major Fernando Sotillo Soto Henriquez was the only pilot there to have any air-to-air victories. He shot down a Mustang and 2 Corsairs.
some of the...
Those Honduran aircraft are still in existence and flying, once just been restored to flying back home in its Honduran market.
One thing about the Corsair trip, it does not sound like it's working at all.
No, it's not. So Corsair down with to land, gear down, and now it's the Bearcat.
Designed by Grumman to fulfill a US Navy requirement for an aircraft with an exceptional climb rate, and I think you could just see that then.
Bearcat was 20% lighter and had a 30% higher rate of climb, was 50 miles an hour faster than the Hellcat. Quite an exceptional aeroplane.
I reckon this is this must be the epoch of the big piston fighter. I mean, you couldn't squeeze anything else in there. 2,250 horsepower, Pratt & Whitney R2800, double wasp, 18-cylinder engine, and a massive prop disc.
If you look at that rate of climb,
Too late for service in the Second World War, but first combat during the French Indochina War against the Viet Minh.
it was quite ironic that they used it. The US Navy wouldn't use them in Korea. They said it was unsuitable for that particular role, but used very successfully by the French. And when they moved out of French Indochina, they handed their aircraft over to the Thais and the nascent Vietnamese Air Force. They were actually on their way to the Pacific Theatre when the war actually ceased. I'll do it as blankly.
Bit of a punch too. 4 20mm cannons, 4 unguided rockets, and 2 1,000-pound bombs.
This exceptional rate of climb that the aircraft had. 1946, an unmodified stock standard F8 F1 US Navy set a time to climb record to 10,000 feet after a 115-foot takeoff roll of 94 seconds. And that was not beaten for another 10 years but by a jet.
This aircraft must have run on the early jets in the former.
It was just, to that point, too late. In their carrier operations, they used this climbing ability. They had a trick called the Indian rope trick, and the ones that were towing the targets would come along over the carrier deck. The carrier was steaming flat out. They'd hook the rope and then pull up vertically, so that there are photos of the tow rope actually going straight up off the deck.
This aircraft currently painted in the markings of Lieutenant Commander Whiff Caldwell of the F-20. And these, of course, the preferred mount of our leader, Stephen Gray.
Very, very lightweight construction, but I had a chance to look at one being restored over in California, and at every joint there's a gusset plate. Every single joint on every particular structural member. Lightweight, but very, very strong. It has an ultimate G loading of about 9. Used to have explosive wingtips that would blow off at that They eventually got rid of those and just strengthened the wing right up.
That's why Cole's staying there.